is I was on Craigslist. That's how I started. I posted 500 ads a day on Craigslist. I had a system that would take the modem, the dial-up system, and it would change the IP address, and it would move the mouse around and post for me. And it would have different email addresses. I mean, this is back, a long time ago, but I figured a way that used to feed me 15, 20 jobs a day. And that was really cool because by the time Google really started being the algorithm of choice, I was on top of that stuff. I was putting stuff on YouTube. When I went in my master's program, I sat next to 5 guys that all they did was search engine optimization. They did video editing. This is when it was really easy to win on Google.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like the top ads were like super dark yellow. It was like you knew that was an ad. And it didn't even make sense. Stuff would pop up there that didn't even belong.
Yeah.
So organic won all day. So that's really when I started to take market share. And 2014, I got a great right-hand person, Adam, my integrator. 2017, I got on a Service Titan, which...
You were one of the...
I was the only one outside of HVAC,
non-H-
plumbing, electrical.
Yeah.
And that was a whole story within itself. I mean, I worked directly with the CEO, Ara, and he said no. Everyone said no, and I begged on LinkedIn, and he called me, and he said, we're super focused. You got to understand that. And I said, you bet on me, I'll have 1,000 technicians on this. And we talked for an hour, and he goes, dude, I don't know why I'm going to take a flyer on you. I'm sending out 10 success managers.
Yeah.
And Adam worked with these guys and made it all work. And then the next year I started my podcast and I had Al Levy on. We met for dinner in Scottsdale or lunch in Scottsdale, and he comes into my office and he just tears me apart. He's like, show me your manuals, show me your standard operating procedures, show me the structure. How do you delegate? Where's your org chart? Where's your depth chart? And I had nothing.
How big were you at the time when he came
I had
out?
17 million.
Okay.
I mean, but we were serious firefighters.
Yeah.
And I wasn't making a lot of money. Revenue is for vanity, profits for sanity. So this was like, I thought I would walk in a room, I'm like 17 million.
Yeah.
And he's like, how much are you keeping? I'm like 3%, And it was good though. I mean, we had better months. A lot of it was reinvesting into the company. And just, we were overhired a lot of the time. We were burning through jobs, just a lot of stupid mistakes. Service Titan was not meant for a garage door company, so that took a couple of years of dialing in. And I've always been an early adopter. I've always bet on things before people do. I think that's part of the success, is I try to find the industry leader, and I beg and plead my way into it. And so he hooked us up. I mean, 3 years with Al, several $100,000 paid to him. Manuals for every single job, how to win, standard operating procedures, tattoo policies, how to get PTO, what happens if my truck breaks down, facial hair, like you name it. Like if you want new shirts, what's the process, systems, checklists. And that was really where the company started getting legs. And then 2020, Al takes a picture of my old truck and he goes, dude, I've been meaning to tell you this, but your trucks look like crap. He goes, by the way, I want you to have one install truck and one van. Nothing else but the same models. And I go, he showed me the picture and I go, yeah, you're right. And I go, what should I do? He goes, there's a company called Kick Charge. The guy's name is Dan Antonelli. So let him do his thing.
Yep.
And I called Dan, he gives me his price, and I'm like, I'm pretty big influencer. Like, I could probably get you a lot of business. Tried to will him and deal him, he didn't really negotiate.
Yeah.
I pulled the trigger.
That's not his style, you're right.
No, he's just like take it or leave it. And he knew who I was. We knew of each other, and I did it, and that was a game changer because I did that at $40 million. I changed my brand at $40 million. So Al Levy hooked me up with all the structure, the SOPs, the manuals. And then Dan hooked me up with the right brand. I was already on the right software. And then we didn't have a great CFO. And that's the last thing I think most home services get is the right CFO. And under 2 years ago, I got probably 2.5 years ago, right CFO, went to a recruiter, got a guy named Dan Miller. And then he helped me get the right CFO. So he's the president. Then I got the CFO. And all of a sudden, now we've got 3 FP&A people just digesting numbers. We're using Power BI. We're using some crazy technology that's just, our competitors don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, like Rilla Voice. Have you ever heard of Rilla Voice?
No.
So our conversation, if I put it on my iPad, is recorded, us talking. And it follows our sales process. It tells me how many times you said, like, you know. It tells me how fast I spoke versus how fast you spoke.
Oh, really?
It tells me how many open-ended questions I asked. It tells me how great I told the company story. And it's all a feedback loop, so it's the end of ride-alongs is what it's called. And now you're literally working on your one-on-ones each day with the technicians and our sales.
When did you implement that?
We got heavy into it about 4 months ago, did a test of 40 techs, murdered it, and now it's... we bought 350 licenses. And the newest technology, I'm on a yacht party next week in Miami for Rilla Voice. And you're going to be able to ask it, what would I need to make Paul just as good as Jimmy? And it'll tell you everything, that kind of training I need to do to bring you up to the level. If I want to take a market, it's going to take all of ServiceTitan's data. What am I doing wrong in Denver versus Colorado Springs? And it'll go through all the data, AI and machine learning to do it. And a lot of people, just like they don't have the money for ServiceTitan, they're like, oh my gosh, that's expensive. Yeah. Dan Antonelli's expensive. Why would I pay for manuals? Like Rilla Voice is not cheap. It's $1 million investment a year for us. But it will probably double. We're at 24.7% bottom line right now. I don't even know where we could go. I didn't think you could do better than that, but I think we could get, north of 30.
Is this thing for phone or for live in person?
Like, so it's made for the person.
So it's
when you're in the garage.
Literally on the iPad. Like
it's recording the job on the iPad.
Okay.
There's 12 states that require 2-person consent. The other 38 don't. So the 38, you're just good to go, 1 consent. The other 12, you got to just say, just so you know, our call may be recorded, and the experience when our technicians out there may be recorded. Like, they've got scripts. I'm not in any of those states, but it's a game changer because it'll go right into the call of what went wrong.
How'd you get into that to begin with?
Aaron Gaynor with Eco Plumbers. He's over this. His son's going to ASU, so he comes and kicks it once a month out here for like 3 days. And we're always helping each other. Like me and a lot of the big HVAC plumbing guys, and I'm the only garage door guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, have you ever heard of Rilla Voice? We just implemented it like a month ago, and our top 3 guys have doubled their sales. He's like, they're eating it up. They hated it at first, like somebody's watching them, but they're getting better. They're actually listening, and they're listening to each other's calls, and they're working with each other. And I go, yeah, I'll call them.
Yeah.
And then I got into it, and I'm like, man, roofers are getting into it. Door-to-door guys, like, it's crazy how effective it is when you spend. Now, here's the deal with the software. It won't do anything if you're not paying attention. If you don't make the guys record it. If you're not listening to the calls, if you're not coaching them. It's a coaching platform.
I would imagine you would have to feed the machine whether information such as, did you actually get the sale?
So it talks to ServiceTitan.
Okay. So it knows.
So it knows what's working. It studies conversion rates. So it works with House Call Pro. It works with, Service Fusion. It works with a lot of the other CRMs. But as well as I do, I don't know about pest control, but if you're not on ServiceTitan, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage doors, like your multiple will be affected significantly.
Well, look, even ServiceTitan has made inroads into lawn and pest now, right? So
they started buying them.
They bought ServSuite, and I think they bought Pest Routes too.
Yep.
And I think they're going to integrate it all into that one same platform.
They're trying to figure out how to do that, but we'll see. They're about to go public in the next year, so IPO around the corner.
What were you using before you were using ServiceTitan? I literally remember having conversations with you years ago. You had been on ServiceTitan for a while, but not that long, and it was a game changer for you. But what were you doing before that?
So we used to use 2007 to 2010, we were on a notebook, a calendar that we'd write everything
down.
Like literally. Yeah, like a book.
Okay.
We're like, where's the calendar?
Where's the book?
Where's the book?
Okay.
This is before you even had phones that pictures or anything. And then we got onto Excel. when we started using Excel. And then we went to another one. And then I ended up on this one called Aptora, which was from like the 90s. But it was cool because he figured out how to have like GPS on the trucks. It had an integrated finance department, but it was still, you had to have your own servers. And then I found Service Titan. And I remember my right hand, my COO or general manager, back then it was general manager, he said, "It's not the software." And I'm like, dude, I think it is the software. Like software is a game changer.
Yeah.
Like I understand software wasn't a big deal in the 90s, really the early 2000s. But now, more than ever with AI and machine learning, like Dispatch Pro is going to change the game with Service Titan. I mean, we are helping them build it. And we're giving it data. You know, we're loading it in with credit scores. We're loading it with pre-approvals. We're giving it anything you could do with regression testing to make the machine learn. As long as it gets the secret sauce is, like for pest control, you'd want to have like 25 different types of jobs. Even if it's, let's just say it's mosquitoes. You want to have what type of mosquito job, because it'll learn what guys do the best, highest conversion rate. It might be that it recognizes these people, it could pull their age, and you want to send someone of the close age to them. It might be it recognizes, eventually it'll say, they're from, we could recognize they're from Canada.
Yeah.
Let's send out one of our Canadians.
Somebody that talks funny, and let's send them
Yeah, they can match that stuff up. It's insane. And people are like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, dude, it's here.